Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I continue the discussion of people in our dreams, from loved ones to oddly familiar strangers. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Nightmares and night terrors are horrible experiences that many people experienced when they were children. In our first example, we have a man that had a recurring dream when he was a small child that had him and two other children walking down a dimly lit cobblestone street with the store shingles that sometimes moved with the wind and made sounds of metal against metal. In the dream, they were unsure of themselves and wanted to get inside, somewhere that was warmer. It felt like it was a street in England before the time of automobiles and such. In the dream, they entered a door, and there was no one there. Tiptoeing to some stairs, the group began to move down towards what the man thinks was his basement, and one of the stairs squeaked. Peering around the corner, he saw a man with a large knife looking up at them with an angry and scowling face. The group of boys becomes terror-stricken and they run up the stairs, out the door and down the street. Turning to look over his shoulder, the man saw him chasing the group, waving the knife in his hand and shouting at them. In the dream, he was holding the hand of each child that was with him and telling them to run as fast as they could, and then he awoke. In our next example, we have a man that still remembers a dream when he was a child. In the dream, he lived in a flat in San Francisco. Downstairs, below the different flats, was the basement, which had different locked storage areas. The man was with his father and a few of his uncles. It was dark and they were searching the hallway. There was something behind him, something that was so frightening to him that he was too scared to call out for help. He opened his mouth and his voice was paralyzed. In our next example, we have a woman that as a child remembers having a dream that was so vivid in color and sound when she was a child about 8 or 10 years old. What she remembered of the dream is this: strange men come to our farmhouse, and she was afraid of them. She got on the only phone near the living room window trying to call for help. This was back in the era of telephones with short cords and no chance to wander about chatting. They saw her through the sheets hanging at the windows. She dropped the phone and ran. They got at her through the window. They broke in and chased her up the stairs. She ran faster and headed down the other staircase and out the front door. They shot twice at her, and she felt the bullets enter her upper arm. Shocked, she ran down towards the barn with plans to circle back and hide under the front porch behind the concrete steps until they left. It is generally true that the vast majority of children's nightmares, almost without exception, involve being chased. No one really knows why this is, but it is probably a combination of blended frightening moments from past lives and the growing awareness of frightening elements in this new lifetime, along with some inadvertent revisions over the years that make the dreams more complicated than they probably were at the time. Researchers have found that children don't even start having nightmares until the age of 3, which does give them plenty of time to be exposed to a sense of potential dangers around them. Whether it's from their parents' arguments or they are from television or for some really hideous fairy tales and lullabies. The only real differences between nightmares and the night terrors of children is the fact that the child can never remember a thing about the cause of their night terrors. It's as if the conscious mind just refuses to deal with whatever was so frightening during sleep and simply blocks it out. Since children can't remember night terrors, they can't talk about them, which makes it very difficult for researchers to explore them. It is possible that a major percentage of night terrors might be caused by children's experiences with astral catalepsy or sleep paralysis. Astral catalepsy or sleep paralysis isn't that uncommon in children, for the obvious reason that while astral travel is completely natural to them, as it is to all of us, they are still trying to get reacquainted with the process of their spirits having to leave and return to a body in order to accomplish it, as opposed to the total freedom of movement they were accustomed to on the other side. It's no surprise that the spirit's re-entry into the body that is temporarily housing it is often awkward and uncomfortable, and that, as a result, the child becomes aware of its spirit being half in and half out of the body, and experiences everything from paralysis to an inability to scream for help, to sense an evil presence holding it down, to all the other sensations astral catalepsy can cause. Asking and listening. It is important to be careful of the bedtime fairy tales and lullabies you use to put your children to sleep with. It's also important to let your children know that their dreams are important to them and to you. Listen patiently to their nighttime experiences they share with you, and then help them as best you can to understand those experiences and put them in perspective. A young father said that his 4-year-old daughter was having a recurring dream. The dream had something to do with sailing away on a big boat. It didn't seem to disturb his daughter at all, but it was worrying him. The father was wondering if his child was expressing a desire to get away from her home and family who adored her, or he was wondering if this was some past life experience she needed help with. All that was needed was for the father to ask the girl some questions about this dream. This little girl was having recurring dreams about sailing away on a big boat. The father asked his daughter if she had ever seen a big boat in real life like the one in her dream. She said yes. He next asked her if there was anyone else with her on the boat. She said yes, her mummy and her daddy and her two brothers and her dog. He next asked her, what did they do while they were on the boat? She said that they had fun. He next asked her how she felt when she was on the boat. She said happy. In other words, this recurring dream that her father was so afraid indicated her desire to escape was really just a wish dream about having fun with her family on a big boat, like the one she saw on TV. And all he had to do to find out for himself was to simply ask her. A lot of really well-intentioned parents don't like to ask their children more than just a passing question or two about their dreams. Some of them are afraid to push, not wanting to make it sound as if they are disappointed if the child can't remember, or if the dream wasn't all that complicated or interesting. Others are afraid that if the child's dreams are troubling, they won't have a clue what to say or do to help. Others prefer to downplay the importance of dreams in general, and still others either don't have the time or don't take the time to have the conversation. A good question to ask yourself is, would it have been helpful or even just reassuring if someone had encouraged the relationship between you and your dreams when you were a child? If they had taught you the difference between wish dreams and release dreams and prophetic dreams, and talked to you about the wonderful pieces and places and times you can astrally visit without fear while you sleep. If they are helped you understand that nightmares can really be useful, and that when something or someone is chasing you in a dream, all you have to do is stop running, turn around and face them. If they had taught you how to rewrite the endings of sad and scary dreams so that they had turned out just fine after all. If they had worked with you on what your dreams might mean and planted the seeds of a worthwhile skill you could develop and explore as you grew older. If the answer to even one of those questions is yes, then you will have some idea of what a difference you could make to a child thanks to regular conversations that start with a simple question. Tell me about your dreams. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists. so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.